Why did I do it this way? All right, this is the very first official test of how citrus strip is gonna do. I covered this with a product called Reassembling, which is a liquid wood that you paint on. When it dries, you can then stain it and polyurethane it. That is what I did because I knew eventually I would strip this down. It just wasn't in the cards my first winter here, and it was pretty dinged up, icky looking wood. Citrus strip on this is gonna be going through a couple coats of polyurethane, the retique, and then the original varnish or shellac, whatever's on it. We'll see how this does. The other product that I will be dealing with is going through Sherwin-Williams Emerald Enamel Paint, which is the iron ore that is on almost everything else. I'm gonna put this on. You need your citrus strip, of course, which surprisingly smells delightful. Some rubber gloves, a chip brush, so just a super cheapo brush, and saran wrap. And the saran wrap is important because this stuff dries out, and if it dries out, it's not effective. So it is important to cover it to keep it damp or moist, if that word doesn't offend you, to work overnight. And then in the morning, I will take a scraper, and we will see how it did. Hopefully everything comes off in like super clean strips and I don't have to do a lot to it. It might end up being 2 coats of this, which, okay, we'll figure that out. Worst case scenario is that it doesn't work. So let's hope that it works. You ever see Ghostbusters 2? They've got the goo. That's what this stuff reminds me of when they bring the Statue of Liberty to life. So I'm gonna be done for the day now. And you guys are lucky because you only have to wait a few seconds. I have to wait a whole shmishmin hours. We'll say 10. Okay, bye.
All right, I just woke up. Let's do this.
Oh my gosh, it's already coming off.
Well, let's just, perfect. I literally just rolled out of bed, so I look like shit. All right, let's do this.
Took me 45 minutes to scrape off. This is by far the largest piece that there is, and this is only one of 2 pieces that has all of these little, inset details. So the rest will not take this long. I'm not there yet, but I'm just about ready to start working on the stairs. Fully working. I've started, but I haven't fully dived in. In order to start putting the stairs back together, I needed to get the top lip from the upstairs hallway taken out and its riser from underneath it. So I'm gonna quickly refinish those and then I can start reassembling the stairs, which is great. But I got the lip out. Now at some point I will remove all the carpet in the upstairs hallway. The carpet is sitting on top of 1/4-inch OSB that was put on top of the original wood floor. Obviously I want to refinish that wood floor, but this is what I'm gonna be dealing with underneath it. So we've got all the little staples, the wood, the horrible condition of the stain. That's a old nail head sticking out of the top there. There's gonna be a lot. Gotta start somewhere. There is this little boy that keeps riding by on his little tiny bike, and I don't know if they're new neighbors or like to the neighborhood, not my neighbors. He's ridden by like 8 times. Go home. Go get dinner. Now the kid is walking the bike by and he's staring at me. He knows I talked about him. Look, this color is Provincial, and I had determined that this was going to be my base color. I can tell you right now, just doing the single coat of Provincial, I am not going to want that as my dominant color. I was assuming that the red oak would pull a little bit warmer through it, and it's not, and that's very much okay, because I am going to be experimenting with this tomorrow because I want to make sure that I am very happy with the stain, because I am going to be staining an absolute shit ton of wood, and the last thing I want is to do it and then be like, should have done something else. And I'll let these dry overnight. Keep a window open down here because it stinks. Based on your guys's, why do I have the phone down there like that? Because the kitchen's a mess, probably. Based on your guys's comments, I did go and get the black fancy nitrile gloves because I have a problem with my gloves splitting open when I stain and my fingers turn, you know, whatever color. So I think this is it for the day. It's Monday, May 5th. It's Cinco de Mayo. I have the designing the drawing room video coming out on Wednesday. It's 8:30. I need to go and edit that because it's not done. I'm about 14 minutes into it, so I wanted to get this stuff done and then I got like hyper focused on it, and now here I am. I have a problem. Earlier today, I got started on, let me back up a second. Yesterday, I drove out to Menards to get the wood that's going to be covering the walls and ceiling here in the foyer. Ignore the shit drywall that I did. For the walls, everything that is sheetrocked right now and the inner portion of the transom is going to be paneled. To achieve the paneling, I obviously need to buy paneling. Purchased 5 4-foot by 8-foot sheets of red oak plywood. So it's got a red oak veneer on the top and then it's just plywood on the inside. And it's 1/4 inch thick, which I also needed because by removing the plaster and lathing, you're left with, where's my finger? Right there. That sounds like a joke. You're left with this little kind of notch here where the sheetrock does not line up with the door and window casings in this room. I'm gonna run into it in there also, and I'll figure that out then. Because it doesn't meet, I'd have gaps around the sides, and I don't want gaps. I have all that in the garage right now, and I'm gonna go cut it. Earlier today, I made a map of all the pieces that will need to be cut, essentially, and the measurements for all of those pieces. So this is kind of going to be like putting a puzzle together in a way. But part of the challenge with it was because I have these vertical, why can I not, there it goes, control my arm. Because I have these vertical pieces there, then they change width up top. The reason I did them up top specifically was to hide the seams of the MDF sheets that are up there. I obviously need to hide some seams down here too. And I'm only gonna need to hide them on this front wall where the front door is, and then one seam straight across here on the ceiling. Otherwise, it should be pretty good. The red oak is just the base layer because then I have to put on, there's all the trim that goes around it, the decorative trim. I haven't determined yet if I'm gonna be doing decorative boxes on all of it or just the transom walls behind me and also the ceiling. So there are some decisions to be made, but for now, I need to get those pieces on the wall because I also cannot move forward putting the step back at the bottom until that backing piece is in place. I'm gonna go out to the garage. I'm gonna cut as much of it as I can right now. I don't plan on doing the ceiling right now because that's okay as it is. It's also subjective because I need to get that angled piece underneath the stairs before I can put the ceiling piece on. But those stairs are done now at the top. That's the skinny. It's really nice outside right now. And it's Friday. Oh, it's Friday. Panels are all cut. I have more glue than I thought, actually. I have a bunch of glue, so I don't need to run to the store. I'm gonna glue these up, staple them. Do you know about this trick? My dad taught me this a couple years ago, and I never heard of it. So if you've heard of it, good for you. And if you haven't, use a trick. If you don't use all of the glue in a bottle or your caulk or whatever, and you don't want to deal with like the crust on the end, or specifically glue that like forms its shell and you really can't get it off, he showed me you can just screw a screw down into it and leave it. And then when you take that screw out, we're clean. It's a little tidbit from my papa to you. Let's do it. I don't really like this Gorilla adhesive. It is very strong, but it's also really hard to get it out of its thing. Technical term. And I'm just putting the glue on the backs of these so that they don't like bubble, you know, on the wall, because I did not do that in the stairwell, and it bugs me. That's my fault. It's going nowhere. Tell you that right now. I actually need to go get the saw because there's a couple things I screwed up on. Surprise. Probably all like goofing out on the inside of this thing right now too, which is just fantastic. Need to fix this though, because it's kind of wonkadoo. I'm trying to be a little careful with this because I need to, oh man, I didn't realize you guys are so off center. I'm sorry. These are the old-fashioned kind of pushy things that I got, technical term. And I have somewhere a real cool faceplate that I ordered for it. There's two of them. There's one for, what the hell's that for? There are two of these faceplates. One is for here and one's for up by the front door, because that one is gonna get the fancy buttons also. But I wanna make sure that it's good to go before I like continue, because I don't wanna have to undo the faceplate again and you know, on and on. God, why is this so awkward? I found them, they're in the laundry room right where they belong. Anyway, it's this. Let's see if I did it. I did it right on the first try. That's gonna look really cool. Not much room for error. I'm glad I didn't fuck up on this one. Ow, fucker, splinter. It's starting to feel like a foyer. This piece needs to get fixed because it's it had a couple issues. Ooh, that was a heavy one. Some wood paneling, you guys. Yee. Last piece. Ow, hit my toe. All right. Well, it feels better already. She's a beaut. Well, she's not really that pretty yet because, you know, it'll get there. It'll look like those. Not yet, but it will. All right, so I'm gonna put this together now. Now, I mostly had to pre-assemble it just so that I knew this piece up top is not gonna stay here because I still have to sand down the landing. But I wanted to get everything in place. Yeah, see, I wanted to get everything in place to make sure that it was going to be fitting tight, because I gotta get this put together. It's driving me nuts. What I'm gonna do is, obviously nothing's attached yet, but it's gonna get beefed up because I was not happy with, when I took it apart, how kind of chintzy everything was. But that is how the wood's gonna all look, you know. It's okay. Let's just roll with it. Need a little tiny drill bit. Oh, I wasn't prepared for one thing. And I just wanted to pre-drill because the last thing I want with the finished wood here is to crack it, because I'd be pretty upset with myself if, after all that refinishing work, I cracked it. And these are countersinking screws, so they kind of pull the head in so that like where they'll be exposed on the stairs, because there will be some areas where you'll see them, you can fill it then with wood putty. So I have all these little wood blocks that are cut and ready, and that's because there were really no supports behind these things other than these three somewhat chintzy boards. So my thought was, okay, well, I can really attach everything to solid base pieces and then not have to worry about, you know, anything sliding, because I do worry about that. You should be able to go against both. That was like this. Fucker, guys, you were there. That's where you existed before I took you off. You were gonna not move. You're gonna stay right there so that I can play with this. Now, this is saying that it's not straight, which means you're not where you ought to be. That little booger in place. Probably don't need to. This is probably overkill, but I would rather be ultra safe than ultra sorry. So we're gonna do this. Wunderbar. You go there, you go there. Theoretically, you fit. Hey, you do. Now to just put it all together. Ow! Alrighty, last component is putting the stair on, or the step. It goes like that. So this whole thing is getting replaced, or not replaced, but fixed, because it was a wobbly newel post. I don't know if you can see this in the video right now, but how this is so much higher up, and it's because this piece before I fixed it was like, woo! Do a little flipsy-do. All right, that's a stair. It is the little things in life, like having a bottom step again. Today was a long day. It was a long day, but it ended up being fruitful. I was gonna go out to the garage and continue stripping wood because my focus this weekend is to get this lead window and the other two, their casings and frames done. In there, I'll be able to put the frames, window frames? Yeah, trim work around the window. I'll be able to get it put up this weekend. This thing's gonna have to wait until I get the wall stained because I want the wall stained first. With the trim at least done, I can trace on the wall where the trim's gonna be so that I know how far out I want to do that dark blending effect. I think that's enough for now. I'm gonna go eat some M&Ms. I've gotta replace this door handle too. Maybe that'll be this weekend. I'm gonna go ahead and work on the front door, replacing the handle for it. The front door, this is original. Well, as far as I know, this is original. And I spray painted it because it was all corroded through. It's very rickety and you can see straight through. The mechanism likes to stick, so the door is very hard to stay shut. I'm not gonna toss it by any means. I can reuse this handle and lock set, even though it's not a lock. Well, I guess it is a lock. I do have the skeleton key for it, but I can reuse that elsewhere in the house. Down here, I'm gonna be replacing the door handle. It's warm enough outside that like, if I have a hole on the door for a minute, that's gonna be okay. Hopefully it goes pretty quick. I guess we'll see. I don't know. There's the most annoying little dog barking somewhere, and I'm assuming because it's Mother's Day, it's someone that's visiting and they brought their dog and they're all out to lunch or early dinner or something. But it's the most annoying sound that's been going for like 3 hours now. And it's not in a car or anything, because there's no cars parked on the street. How is this in here so well? Now the reason that I'm taking the deadbolt out as well is because the deadbolt hole is where I'm going to put the new handle. So it's going to be set a little bit higher so that I can drill a new hole for the deadbolt. And the reason I'm putting the handle up higher is because the old spot for the handle, it's just all chopped up there. And to an extent, so is the deadbolt one. Do a little chiseling of the wood here. Stand up for this. Now, sometimes you make these things so unnecessarily difficult to understand. This is gonna go over here, and I don't even need to drill a hole for it because there's the bottom one already, which is cool. It's so dusty. I've just been moving the box around for months. Very nice. Great, okay, there's one component. This is the part that I hate. You guys, I really do have the power to annoy myself, sometimes very severely. Can anybody relate? This chisel has seen some much better days, I'll tell you that right now. I think that might be too far, because it wasn't even in the wood. Please note that I'm only saying gosh as much as I am because I don't want to get in trouble for whatever reason for saying fuck all the time. Oh shit. Put a quarter in the swear jar. I'm feeling like this is where you need to be. But because this is just mangled, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little shim piece and just fill this whole thing, because I'm going to fill this one too. Because the door is, I don't know if you can see my face. The door is maybe 1/8 of an inch away from the side here. Like, it is not sealed by any means. So I bet I don't even have to have that thing inset. I could just have it on the outside and it'll be fine. I don't even know if I have a shim. I do have paint sticks though. And that'll do the trick. I'm gonna use paint sticks on this, because fuck you, that's why. But I need to also get, like, there's so much caulking on the edge of this that I might as well just clean this whole thing up before I start doing that. This door has been through it. It'd be interesting to know how many people have come and gone through this front door since the house was built. Because I personally really never use it. I'm curious. I've also got to take this trim piece off, which is kind of a bummer. It's not straight up and down. I need it to stick out a little bit farther. And it doesn't even go like all the way to the ground. So like that's part of the reason why the cold air gets in the winter. So I have new stuff that looks almost the same. And this is kind of shot and like, let's take a look here. Like you can see up here, like it's been spliced together. They probably took it off at some point in time as well. So I don't really feel that bad about it. So don't come at me, please. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, paint sticks. And I can fill all these little holes too with wood filler, and let's make it nice. So actually, before I get started on cleaning the door frame up, I should just put the deadbolt on because, whoop, okay. You can get these little kits from whatever hardware store, and it's pretty cool because you set the width of your door, you lock this thing in super tight, and then it comes with the hole saw, and it just goes popping right through. Anyway, that's what I've got. How high do I want this thing? I'll mount it pretty high because it's my house and I don't care. Got that in place for where we're putting our lock. I don't care if it's this high up and you guys are judging me. I don't care. Here is a very important anecdote that you should know when you're doing this. And it is that never, ever, 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 never just go all the way through from one side to the other, because you're gonna blow out the wood and it's gonna splinter and shatter everywhere. You want to start on one side and go however far in. I'm gonna go through a little bit. So that's probably 1/4 of an inch through. I'm gonna come through the other side now. Also, don't touch it because it'll burn your hand because it's really hot. I'm gonna take the mount off so I can gauge a little bit better. Look at that. It's pretty cool. We need the hole for the lock to actually go through. It is lined up, and then because it's got that fancy little hole on the side, you can drill into that, and it's gonna make the hole for your lock to go through. So let me get that. I know I should be flattered, and I almost always am, but it does creep me out a little bit sometimes when like you catch people that are on a walk and they try to like back up and inconspicuously like take a picture of your house, especially if you're like standing right here and they see you. And I think he was like, oh, what was I doing with my phone? Oh shit. You're coming out, you little asshole. Did I break my lock? I think I may have, you guys. I feel like I scowl a lot when I'm doing this. Do I scowl a lot? Is that... I swear to God. What was the point of redoing the floors? What an asshole. Okay. 4th time the charm. We'll see. Get in there. Let's see. Oh, it was the 4th time that was the charm. It helps when there's a battery on it. Okay, functioning deadbolt. Well, it went in. We're getting there. Shit, because that goes almost all the way in now. I lose my hair. It wasn't attached. Oh, it's on the floor. One of the many things that I dropped. Oh, fuck. I just want to hear like the satisfying like clack sound. Will it clack? Sure do. Okay. That's the way to do it. What would go quicker is if I take the fucking door trim off, like I said I was going to when I started this project. But here we are. What am I doing? Ugh. Okay, I am reaching the point in the day where I am starting to kind of lose it. in terms of concentration. So I think I'm gonna do this and then I might need to be done for the weekend. And that's okay. I got a lot done this weekend. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, I'm done. I'm done recording. So you guys have a great night and you'll probably see me more in this video. Bye.